The other pictures are frozen, basically.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bandwidth in these videos.
Yeah.
We should have just set everyone from.
Oh my! Wow! Look at this.
Joyous. God, what?
Okay, 1, 2,
Three, everybody.
3, down, 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 down. Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary!
Anniversary.
I was kind of hoping we were going to do like a "This Is Your Life," where we answer questions until they guess who we are.
First of all, what is the prize?
Surprise.
Surprise.
What a surprise.
Grant, you've turned your sound off.
Yeah. Can you see everybody?
Oh, yes, we can see everyone.
Eddie and Sarah and wow, and
It takes a while to work out who they are.
He's trying to behave himself. Very difficult.
Bobby also combed his hair. That's both brothers in the same day.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. Good.
And Benjamin.
Where's Benjamin? There's Kim. There's Benjamin.
Benjamin's very busy.
Hey,
Kim
you
was
said
very
Tim.
busy.
Grant,
Yes.
could we do a quick screenshot of all the pages before we forget? So we all hold them up, you take a screenshot, and then we can get rid of them. Okay.
So hard on that.
Tell us when you're done.
Right. Make your screenshots.
Like I'm
Just
working
daily
it.
screenshots.
Lots of it.
There we go. No, it's there.
He doesn't know how to do screenshot. Do you know? He does. Okay.
Don't be rude. I've got this whole thing recorded, cheeky woman.
I'll snap you, Grant. No, nothing. He knows. He knows.
Absolutely incredible.
Now Grant's just making us wait to see how long we can hold these up.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've taken the screenshot ages ago.
Put it down, you.
Go on, Grant.
Grant,
Did you get it?
I take him?
You've done it.
have you done it?
Yes, I've done it.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Thank you.
Actually, taking pictures, there's videos, there's screenshots. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Okay. And screenshots of all our faces too.
It's now one all our faces.
Give me one. Really?
Okay.
Yeah, what is the person talking perhaps?
Hang on.
Another one.
More
That's
faces.
Okay, so what I thought to make this a little easier and not chaotic is if we can all mute, and then we're going to go around and give each person a chance to just wish you guys a happy anniversary, and we've got just 2 questions that we ask them to prepare. So I think we'll start with Leslie and Mark. Can you? So everyone mute, and Leslie and Mark put yours on, and you go for it.
Hi, can you hear us?
Oh, yes.
You can hear us?
Away you go.
Happy anniversary. Where are they? They've gone.
Oh, there
Oh, there they are. They asked us about a story to talk about a story that we remember. And there's one that I remember from a long, long, long time ago when you were first courting.
Oh, I'm getting nervous. I'm getting nervous now.
You better get nervous. Shelley came into the room in floods of tears. She was you'd had some huge disagreement, and she was so upset. And the next thing she went, and I was all upset for her. She went back into the lounge, and about 10 minutes later, I heard the two of you in hysterics laughing, and I thought, what on earth is going on here? I really thought it was the end of the relationship, but 10 minutes later it was all back on and everybody was fine again.
Well, I'm glad you remember that. I don't.
That was very early days. Yeah. But some really good memories. I remember Peter picking me up from the airport for your 60th birthday, and he was so excited. He planned a surprise party for you, and he was really so excited about your birthday. And then the other very special times when you were so sick, and I saw a love that I've never seen before, how much he loves you and has loved you always. So yeah, very special times.
Yeah.
Yeah, make me cry.
Ginny's done quite a lot of crying in the last 24 hours. And it wasn't my fault.
We'll help you with the crying, Shell, and get you cross.
Okay.
Anybody knowing Peter, they have great difficulty in getting cross with people. They're incredibly polite. And I remember when the big move happened down to Knysna, and this was exciting. This was really important stuff. They were moving down to 169 Links Drive, and I've yet to see a couple so excited. But they'd sold their kids down the river. They promised them this life of subsistence, self-subsistence. They were going to take rainwater off the roof, and they were so it was important that when they arrived with all their furniture and all their stuff, that I got my friend George Parks to drop off some chickens. And I got this bemused telephone call, politely inquiring what they were going to do with chickens, but they'd sold it, so they had to wear it. And that was a lot of fun, just seeing the reaction. What did you do with them?
We chopped their heads off.
Good answer.
A lady arrived with a box, and she said, "This is a present for you." And we said, "Well, that's very nice. Thank you very much. Who does it come from?" "No, I can't tell you," she says. "But you must take it inside." So we took it inside, opened this thing, and there were these live chickens. What are we going to do with chickens? And she wouldn't give us any clue as to where they'd come from. Fortunately, we had Elias, our gardener, with us, and there was a coal shed at the back. There were the chickens in the coal shed. Oh, wow.
And then about an hour later, the lady came back and rescued us and the chickens.
Yes, fortunately.
And I hope after 50 years, you don't sell your boys any stories anymore, Pete.
What was that?
Say that again?
I say, I hope after 50 years now, you've learned not to sell the boys these stories.
Yeah, no, I'm always getting myself in trouble with my mouth, so I'm slipping.
Okay, Mark, and whoever's speaking, when you're finished, you can just hand over to the next person. So I'll give 2 people at a time. So Mark, when you're ready, you can call on Fran.
Mark, if you...
Yes, over to Fran.
Okay, can you?
First of all, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Thank you. And thank you for getting married on my birthday. It's very thoughtful of you. What am I going to say? I've been thinking lots of thoughts over the last little while, but mainly I'm going to say, bless you. When you finish.
Yeah. Sorry.
I just think it's funny, a lot of old people trying to be very modern. Yeah, sorry. It's great fun anyway. And that, but remember the
I'm supposed to be talking.
Oh, it's Mom. Mom's turn to talk.
Okay.
Mainly what I want to say is thank you. What I remember very well, amongst all the things I remember, is opening our front door when Lisa was so very ill. I had no idea you were coming. You didn't tell us. I just opened the front door and you said, we are here to help. So thank you for that. And then when Richard had his op, Peter came and painted our house. So we've got lots to say. Thank you very much.
Good memories.
And I didn't get as far as the funny. I didn't get that far. Somebody else can have it too. You talk more. You can talk more.
Okay, I'm the fool here. I always am the fool. But anyway, it's lovely to see you. Happy anniversary. I remember fun times when you were quite young Javas, and we were at Rosebank at Christmas, and you led the conga. And there we've got lovely pictures, and there's Shelley and Peter, these young things going mad through the people, and everybody looking at and that, but those were good days, and lots of days, and down in Knysna, the lovely times and the suppers and the meals and just traveling around. Oh, who's that coming in there?
Hi, Sally. Hi,
Keeping in. Oh no, it's been wonderful years, and it's all the help and assistance and support to us as one old man to and lady.
You know what I remember about staying with you when Lisa was ill was spending time with Jane, and Jane was given a kitten. Do you remember that, Jane? Maybe not.
That must have been.
No,
it couldn't
no,
be.
that would have been
Cassie was
Fluffy.
Fluffy.
Yes.
Black and white.
Yes.
Fluffy.
Yes. And that was a brand new little kitten. Pardon?
Probably made you sneeze.
Yes, exactly. Yes. You're right.
And your lovely garden, Shelley. It's nice to have shared that with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, the memory I have of you, Jane, is I traveled to Pietermaritzburg on my motorbike to welcome you into this world. A few years ago, not so long ago.
You making your home such a welcoming place for me when we were courting, and we stop over in Maritzburg on the way down to Durban. We always felt very at home and welcomed in your Maritzburg home.
I'm glad. It was lovely having all of you in the Maritzburg home.
And Bobby used to come up as well on fasty backs and so on, and eat all our breakfasts.
Eat us out of house and home. Is he listening?
Of Lisa in England, in London.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Those are my stories. I'm waiting for my turn.
It's your turn now. Go, Lisa.
Whenever Lisa tells you, I will tell you the truth afterwards. So, Lisa, you have to
I have so many happy memories of both of you. And yeah, ranging from all our fun family Christmases with this whole mad mob. It's grown over time. Those were very special memories, and some I treasure. Coming to visit you at River Club, cousins, Stephen and Grant jumping into bed with me, telling stories, Uncle Peter telling stories about Jeremy, the postman, and peanut butter. And then, yeah, growing up and having such special adult times with you too. Shelley and Peter spending a year in Nan Spruce's cottage with you, where you were our surrogate mom and dad in Joburg. And Paula and I were very grateful for that time, and we got to spend a lot of good quality time with you there. Some gorgeous family holidays in Knysna with our little kiddies. We've got one here, not such little kiddies anymore. Juliet's here with us, and the others, Nick's in Cape Town. He says hi and happy anniversary. And then, yes, the shenanigans that Peter gets up to when he's away from you, Shelley.
Yeah, tell me more, tell me more.
Peter and I had a wonderful time in the UK, but he was on his own. Every now and then he would say, I miss Shelley.
Every so often.
But we do have a truce. So we did decide that whatever happened in the UK stays in the UK. Hey, Peter.
Well, other than one little story that I really have to tell about Lisa, I invited Lisa to come and visit me at the hotel. And this was my tiny little niece. And I said to her very innocently, Lisa, what would you like to drink, a Fanta or a Coke? And she said, gin and tonic. And I felt so old at that point.
So, yeah, we've had wonderful times with you. And one thing I have to say that I think I always remember about the two of you is just how much you could laugh. And that laughter has always been something that I think has just kept your relationship so strong. And it's something that I think we all enjoy laughing as a family. And I think that's great. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, my memories are also of family times coming up to Joburg for various things. And I can't remember, I'm getting old, so my timeline memory is it was either after matric or one of my varsity backs. I came and worked in the shoe stores in Joburg and stayed with you. And I think to earn my keep, I had to do Grant's grade 1 reading homework. That's all me that Grant can read. I think Peter drove me to the shoe shop in the mornings, and yeah, I had my little my vac job and earned a bit of money to, I think, go overseas, which was really great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
that's
lovely
right.
having you
Lovely
stay.
having you. Yeah.
No, special times. And then plenty of lovely nights and holidays with our kids. I think losing Matt on the lagoon, I think he took your boat. You lent us your boat.
Yes.
And Matt paddled that out without a life jacket. I think he was 2 or something. Yeah, and Peter coming to visit us when we lived in England with Ashley. I don't know if you remember running out of the toy store. She was playing with Thomas and we were looking for something.
Nodding.
And she just ran out and you had to run and grab her before she ran across the road in Exeter. So you saved my child. Twice, each child. Thankfully, they're both still alive. Yeah, so yeah, lots of lovely memories.
Lots of lovely memories, yeah.
Happy anniversary, and may there be many, many more.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, are we muting now? Who's next from us?
Who's talking?
Kim, you mute. You're on mute, Kim.
Sorry. I said thank you to you guys. And Bobby and Jill, you're up.
Bobby and Jill, yeah. Bobby and Jill.
So with regard to memories, I think it's the very happy time that we shared, you know, a really big city, a city that had movie houses and bookstores in it, and good restaurants. But for the time that we shared the city of Johannesburg, Peter and Shelley's home and family, first in Primrose and then in Parkmore, were really kind of anchor places for the two of us. They were sometimes rescue places. I recall running out of petrol in an embarrassingly far out of Johannesburg way and Peter coming to the rescue. But it was simply the sense of a warm, safe, wonderful family place in the city. And also the many parts of that city, the Shelley's, I mean, the courtship time at the YWCA, Shelley's time at the JCE when it was in its old premises, Peter's time in the Diamond Research Laboratory before he moved on to Silicon in a different fashion. Very many very happy memories. And then the second part of their life, which they got to a bit sooner than many of us, the shift to Knysna and the creation in Knysna of Charity Central. I mean, those memories are not tinged, they are made out of a deep sense of admiration, of, I mean, to use a fancy word, of taking solidarity, of being together in a society and linking those who have resources with those who need resources in such a hugely impressive way. And then my brother's very, very wonderful skills, some could say Machiavellian skills, in persuading people that they could retire with dignity and purpose, which went beyond the golf course. But that time, in the natural beauty of the place, notwithstanding no video shops, no cappuccino, no cinemas, none of all that stuff, but it had lots of other stuff. And, you know, it taught me a great deal. And I think taught our family, it showed our family of the capacity to live well in a very different environment than the big city of Johannesburg. So for all of that, thank you very much. And I hope you're having a lot of fun where you are. And please load up on videos, on cappuccinos, and even on movies before you return to the Rust Belt of Knysna.
You certainly will. Thank you.
Thank you so much for everything other than that last sentence. You should come to Knysna.
No, I know you have cappuccino in Knysna now, but if people from Johannesburg go to have coffee, the lady says, "Where are you from?" And you say Johannesburg, and she says, "Shame." This for me is a problem. I also want to say thank you because I'm an only child, because I have no brothers and sisters. It was lovely to have the place. You've always lived in places with natural names. So I think the first flat was Lake Success, it was Lake something, and then Primrose, and then Parkmore, and then River Club, and now Leisure Isle. I'm sure that's deeply significant, but I don't understand how. We were so welcome, particularly when we had our children. It was family. It was as if it was your own children. And thank you very much for that, for incorporating us. And it's been lovely to watch, because we did watch the Johannesburg part, and Shelley trained at JCE and has always been a teacher and has always been concerned with children. And it's lovely to see exactly those traits from before she was married manifesting themselves still in Knysna. And Peter did research at DRL and has done research all his life, except he expanded his skills to include incorporating other people in what he did. And it's been a privilege to watch, and thank you.
Thank you so much, you too.
Yeah, wow.
Lovely.
Lovely memories. Go and squeeze your head in.
Are you handing the mic over, Bobby and Jill?
I'm about to go to daylight saving, so it will be 9 p.m. soon. But anyhow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, it does look very chilly over there.
Back again.
Hello.
No, it's not bad. It's not too bad, but 7 degrees in the morning. So, but now it's not too bad.
We just never wear t-shirts here. We always wear jackets.
Who blew up? Yeah.
How are you, Fran?
Yes.
Hang on.
Okay, we're back to the meeting.
Just missing.
The guests of honor are back. Everyone, back to serious business.
Stop skinnering.
No more mingling.
Just missing Kim and.
Tracy, I love your Wellington boot of flowers.
Oh, freshly plucked from the garden.
So beautiful.
And lovely.
Hello.
There we go.
Down the bottom.
Okay, we're just waiting for toilet breakers.
Toilet break.
No, it's fine. We'll wait for you. Otherwise, you miss it. She's running. Don't fall. Okay, so Abby, if we can hear from Abby. Is Abby there?
Thank you very much, Kim.
Yes, you're back.
So it was a completely magical memory. I think I was 9 or 10, but when I was lucky enough to take a trip down to Knysna on my own to stay with Peter and Shelley, I got to see my first real life flamingos. And it was the confirmation of the actual existence of this fantastic creature that I'd seen in lots of nature documentaries in this fantastic fairyland setting of natural beauty. And adults who were so knowledgeable and so generous with their time and their expertise when I did want to stop and look at every pool of water in case there was an octopus. And every bush and every bird. And just this sharing of their delight and joy, not just in the lagoon and the coastline and the flamingos and the forest, but also in the town of Knysna, in the people they knew, in the relationships that they'd built, which was an incredibly valuable lesson for a small child, completely nature obsessed, to start to see the value in the social ecosystem and the built up spaces where the most exciting things were people and what they did and what they liked and what they thought, and the gift of that trip and the gift of seeing how loving a place so much can transform the way you are in it and can transform it around you. That was an incredibly formative memory. So thank you both so much. And thank you for the love that you continue to live, that all of us get to see, get to learn from, and are incredibly grateful for. Thank you for these last 50 years, and thank you for every moment that you continue to teach us and continue to offer us opportunities for seeing and being differently through the way you just very naturally live well in whatever place you happen to be in at that moment in time. Thank you, and so much love.
Thank you, Abby.
Thank you, Abby. I want to share a little memory I have of that trip. We took Abby to, I think it was a parrot. It was a bird place, and there were parrots in cages. And my guess is there were about 50 parrots. And this young lady walked us around from cage to cage and named every single parrot. It was a guided tour, and the guide had no chance to say anything. It was such a lovely thing to do.
And the drive back from the airport, and she kept saying, "Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful." So we remember that very, very well, Abby.
It was such a delight to see the world through your eyes, because you were blown away by the beauty and you had the language skills to express it. Lovely.
Thank you.
Sarah? Thanks, Abs. Megs, would you take the mic?
Going off mode, yeah.
Yeah. I have two stories, and the first is the day that Abby was born. Sarah and I got scooped up by Uncle Peter and Auntie Shell, and we spent the day at their house, and they spent the day convincing us that this was a good thing. We were unsure about who is this new person who's going to come and live in our house, and it turned out to be they were exactly right. It was a very good thing. But on that day, we were
That's right,
confused and grumpy and ratty and thank you. You got him. And they gave us a very, very safe and reassuring and loving space to be in. Ben.
Sorry.
Yeah, he knows who the star of the show is here at all times. Okay, and that is such an ongoing experience with Uncle Peter and Auntie Shell of just constantly this safe and beautiful space that we all were able to come into and receive wonderful love and joy from the two of you and learn. Uncle Peter's garden developments, Auntie Shell teaching me to press flowers. These are things that I'm using in my work now at the moment that have evolved to kind of take over a large part of my life, the flowers and the garden. And I get so much joy from these passions that you shared with me at a very early age. And the other memory is of our pre-wedding dinner, where this family gang got together and incited by Uncle Peter and Auntie Shell, and then picked up by Auntie Fran with great glee, shared the most outrageous stories of ancestors and family and bad behavior that I'd never heard before with my family and my soon-to-be husband. And I was just kind of sitting there going, it's all right, I promise.
Honestly, I don't remember any of that, but I believe you.
And it was just such a fun and absolutely scandalous night of being let in on this kind of secrets and mysteries and crimes committed by previous generations. And that space of family banter and gentle teasing and absolutely mad sharing has been such a support, I think, for all of us, and such a space of joy and giggles and sometimes absolutely not knowing where to put our faces. So thank you and so much love.
Thank
Thank you so much. Megan, just 2 days ago, we passed a huge shrub, and I said to Peter, in fact, it was in Kirstenbosch, and I said to Peter, that reminds me of Megan, because we had near Galpini on our little veranda, and you remember? And you used to creep underneath, and you used to play fairies, and she used to take these little leaves and make dishes out of them and all sorts of things. And I said, that's Megan's bush.
Best secret hiding space ever.
Thanks, Sarah.
So my family has kind of chipped away at what I wanted to say. Especially Megan, I mean, one of my stories was also that they're being fetched when Abby was born, and I was just full of rage, and I was full of rage for about 6 months. I didn't warm up to Abby quite as quickly as Megan did. But I think it just reinforces a sense of kind of, like my parents said, family in the city. And my other memory is just, and I think a lot of the words that have come from different people, joy, people have spoken a lot about your joy, and your joy is used to create spaces. So what I remember is when I was small, I think it was the River Clubhouse, and we would come and play with the Mr. Men books, and with the Clickets, and with that thing that jumped out of the can. And those for me were the 3 most magical things in the whole world. And they existed in your house, and they existed in a space of magic, with the garden being magic as well, like Megan said, having hiding away spaces, and having the pool the pond that I've got a nice photo of Abby sitting on the edge of.
And I'm going to interrupt you as well. And Scamper and Mogwai.
Yes, yes.
Scamper and Mogwai, yes. Oh my goodness. And it was just such a safe space to have a kind of formative part of my childhood, you know, and to have the sense of family being more than just the house that you live in. And then also, like Abby was saying, having just watched you continue creating these spaces wherever you live, and continuing to bring a sense of living well in the world, of living with joy, of living ethically, and combining those two is incredibly difficult. It's something that I kind of try and work through every day. But you know, knowing that my family is doing work every day in living like that is very comforting. So I think that that's what I want to thank you for the joy and the magic and the comfort.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Sarah.
much.
Thank you.
That was lovely thoughts. Thank you, Sarah.
Handing over to the next
Tracy.
person.
Thanks, Sarah. Tracy.
Hello, Peter and Shelley. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
You guys are an interesting couple. It's where meets mischievous intellect, which is quite an interesting thing to pull off. Can you hear?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the brief was to try and recall a memory, and there are just simply too many to isolate one. What I can say is that what you guys have successfully done, and it's a common theme that we've all been talking about, is connecting us, which I think is remarkable in such an extensive family living abroad, 10 o'clock at night for you guys overseas, that you managed to keep us connected all through the years. That we've all got such a wealth of memories that we can't even really isolate one to highlight. And I think that's commendable. I don't think many families have that, so thank you. And the most important thing for me, not just the childhood memories, which I'm sure many families do have when you've got young children, is that as adults we've grown together is even more so, and that's to me more meaningful. And especially our time we spent recently together when Shell wasn't well. Highlighted what Sarah's saying, a safe place, to be very honest. And I think this is quite a tremendous collection of people to get together where we openly sharing from our hearts, and that's come from you guys as an inspiration. And yes, difficult to fill those shoes, although we do get a backdoor insight into what really happens in the family when you're with Peter and Shelley's not there. That is not so goody two shoes. And it's been a wonderful balance in our family. And thank you for being an inspiration and keeping us connected.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think my abiding memory will be of you arriving when you were at Onderstepoort and arriving with a huge box of bones and saying, Shell, can I come and spend the weekend, and unpacking the bones because you had to learn them for the next exam on our lounge floor.
Yeah. Our lounge looked a little bit like a witch doctor's shop with all kinds of herbal and bone remedies.
And I tried to put spells on you and it didn't work.
Good thing too.
Okay. But it seems that you had many of us come through your doors during our periods of study. And I don't think that just was due to location. I think, yeah, you provide that safe space to have fun and explore.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trace. Okay, I'm up. So a lot of people have said this, but my memory, when I think of you guys, the first thing that comes to my mind is always the time we spent in your garden. I don't know what the road or the house name was, Mom. The Joburg one. The Joburg one, the big garden. The big garden. So for me, it felt totally magical. and it just felt like an endless garden, to be honest. It just didn't seem to have boundaries. It just seemed to go on forever, and the bushes we could hide under and play games. It was amazing. Yeah, and then we made this little club. Tracy, I don't know if she remembers, and Grant, you should remember. I don't know what the name was, but we had a clubhouse by your swimming pool, and we made badges. The Eagle Club, that's it, the Eagle Club. And we just thought that was the bee's knees. We were so special to be part of this club. Just cousins belonged. But yeah, so that for me was so magical, and it just stays like that. It's timeless. It's such a safe space and a wonderful memory. And then the other memory I have is inside your house. I'm sure it's the same house. It was very long. I don't know if I'm right, with lots of rooms down a corridor, and lots of rooms and a lounge and something else going the other way. But I used to dream, and in my dreams, I was in that corridor, and it became even more magical. So it had just extra rooms like Narnia that you could go through doors and do these amazing things. So the magic that you create and the safe space that everybody has spoken about was even part of my dreams as a child, and I still remember them. So yeah, thank you so much for being such a fantastic couple, and happy anniversary. I hope this is a good memory for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know what I remember about the Eagle? There was a sign on it, the hut where you had your Eagle Club, and the sign said, "Adults not allowed."
It's true.
And I found that little flag not so long ago. Yeah, I've still got the Eagle Club flag.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
I'll send you
Oh, please, can you take a picture if you find it and send it to us? I'd love to see it.
I will.
Thank you.
Tracy, can
Okay,
we
Mom.
Tracy, wait, can we just interject here? Jane and I have a
Yes.
bone because we were not adults, but we were also not children, and we were not invited to the Eagle Club.
Oh dear. Grant, we have to do something about this, Grant. We have to sort this out. We'll send your membership badges after the meeting.
I never thought about it.
She's the veteran.
It's not
Lisa and Jane, it did involve getting pummeled by rotten mangoes from time to time.
Peaches.
We
were in Joburg.
I wouldn't have minded.
Your turn, Will.
Oh, okay.
You're up.
Well, first of all, congratulations, Peter and Shelley. Thank you so much for everything you've done. You've heard from the whole family, and I want to still say it again. You supported me in every way possible through all the ups and the downs. And that's what I remember all the time, is how when I really needed help, you guys were there. But when I really could celebrate something, you were there. So thank you for that. You can see from my two children how much your support meant to us as a family, which we got from the whole family. But thank you, Peter. Thank you. You just supported me so I could be the strong person I had to be. So thank you. But the other was the best holiday I've ever had with you guys as a family, and that was Gus the bus.
Gus the
Yes.
bus.
Remember Gus? Remember Gus? I loved that holiday. I can remember some of the places we went to, but the most important thing I remember is driving in the bus, all singing badly or well, depending on our voices, but we didn't care. It was a sharing family time that helped me to knit my family together. So thank you so much, and have a lovely weekend with your family.
Thank you so much.
You know, we also remember that holiday so fondly. I think we stayed at cottages somewhere in the eastern Transvaal. And it was a completely magic time.
Yes.
As you said, traveling around, singing songs. I sang very well, and the rest of you not so well. That was
All right, Stephen, welcome.
Where's Stephen?
He's arrived. Hello, Steve.
Yeah, sorry, we idiotically got the time zone wrong, so we're rather late.
That's okay. That's all right. You are up on the.
You want to go first, or should I go first? So my memory was of a camping trip. We didn't have all that many family camping trips, but I remember this one quite well. Because we arrived sort of late afternoon, it was somewhere in Natal, and shortly after we managed to successfully put up the tent, which I think took a little while, which I think is a sort of genetic also male inability to put up tents. We managed to get it up. And then shortly after we did that, it started to rain, and it rained in a torrential downpour. And I just remember somewhere close to midnight, I think Mum and Dad just looked at each other and said, do you know what? This is actually not worthwhile. We are not doing this anymore. So they packed us into the car, and we drove to Les and Peter's house, and I think slept in their lounge. So that was one of my memories. But happy anniversary, Mum and Dad. It looks like you're having an absolutely lovely time there. It's great.
Thank you, we are. We are. It was Midmar Dam.
It was Midmar Dam. Yeah, there you go. Was it as cataclysmic as I remember?
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
I can remember trying to put tents, pegs in the ground to stop it blowing away at midnight. And it was a few.
I remember that.
And I was standing in the to hold it down. My dad did that and attached it to the trailer, and the water was flowing right through. Yeah, and we gave up.
I think you made a good choice.
Fortunately, Les and Peter were around the corner.
Yes, so that's lucky.
And you didn't need any sandflower stuff, Peter.
Say that again, please.
I said, and he didn't need any sandflower things.
Oh, no.
Sandflower spray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can so remember arriving at your house, at that lovely thatched house in Howick, after midnight, and being so warmly welcomed and so grateful to be out of the rain. You have no idea.
Okay, Grant, the screenshot man.
Yeah,
Your turn.
No, you misunderstand. Sally's the screenshot lady.
Ah.
Can I start with one quick memory, if that's okay? The first time I met Shelley and my first trip to South Africa, I arrived with Steve in Leicester for one of his friends' wedding. And when he arrived, he basically just dropped me off and had to go off and do some, he was an MC and do some duties with the group. So there I was, first time meeting Shelley and arriving in Neisner, and I was just dropped off. But just I want to say thank you very much for being so welcoming and kind. I have very fond memories of the dinner we had, just the three of us, that first night. It was amazing. And so congratulations, and what a wonderful thing to achieve, 50 years, amazing. And thank you so much for being so welcoming and kind to me and the family.
Thank you, Leanne. Thank you so much. Yeah, I remember the time too very, very well. Is Ella going to say something?
Yeah. Show your card. Oh, that's been lovely.
Oh, let's see. That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Ella. Thanks, Henry.
Thanks, Ella.
Henry got
Oh,
one
Henry's
too.
got one too.
Wow.
Oh,
and look at all those
magic.
hearts.
Well
Well
done.
love. Thank you so much.
Nice.
See all your cousins. I bet you haven't seen all those cousins ever before in one group.
One place. No, I don't think you have.
That's a lot of cousins.
So as the youngest and possibly slightly truculent.
I thought you were going to say looking.
No, that's you, remember? I've been told that so many. So I'm going to add a slightly different word to the word plan, and that's tolerant. So when I moved down to Varsity, the folks moved to Knysna at the same time. So none of this really dawned on me at the same time, but they packed up their house of, I don't know, 30 years worth of stuff, life, and moved everything down to Knysna. And apparently, as they moved in, like the same weekend pretty much, I rocked up with, I don't know, like 4 or 5 of my mates from Varsity, and proceeded to kind of take over the new house and dance around the lawn and, I don't know, eat the food and drink a lot of booze, no doubt. So yeah, tolerance is...
Remember that well. Yeah.
Who's next, Kim?
You're running out of time.
That's right.
Yeah, I remember that weekend very, very
Kim, you're
well.
on mute.
We were hardly out of boxes.
Yes.
And gone around with all these people. And it was a very, very happy weekend. It was your birthday. It was your birthday.
Yeah.
Just to check, I think I got everybody, but please, if I didn't, wave at me and shout at me. Now is your time. I think we've all gone. Is that correct? Okay. All right, we're gonna try something. Oh, there's someone there.
No, I just want. I don't have a lot to say because Peter and Shelley, I don't know you guys super well, but you've always been incredibly welcoming and kind to me when we do see each other. So I just want to say thank you, and I hope you're having a good time and continue to. Ben, do you want to say anything? He's got nothing. Okay, thank you.
There's Richie.
Now, our husband, Andrew and Paul have gone fishing.
Richie?
Yeah.
Andrew and Paul are fishing. They were here for a few minutes, but they've gone fishing.
Richie wants to.
What I find incredible, Shelley and Pete, is Mum mentioned tonight that we were all to bring up a memory, and it was about half an hour before I drove here, and it's really interesting that on the other side of the world, instead of a memory, I wanted to say that a lot of the things that have, I suppose, shaped the philosophies around the way that I live and the things that I do have come from lessons that I've learned from you two and your family. So it's quite incredible to hear everybody speak sort of the same way, but for me to come to the conclusion that rather than one memory, I wanted to just say thanks for, really setting an incredible example of what a family means and you know what people can mean to each other. So it was quite amazing hearing the words from everybody else, because I've been obviously quite distant from the family for a long time, and have only spent one trip back to see you in South Africa, and very, very similar things that are so important to me that everyone else has raised. So especially the time in the communities with the feeding program and things like that, that coming back to the country, which I felt a little bit like a tourist from New Zealand rather than a South African, but to see that the happiness and the incredible communities that you're working in, and it sort of gave me it's hard to put into words quickly, but a perspective that what makes people so warm and so happy and so I'm thinking of the word, so alive and well is actually so much more than wealth or anything else. So I came back with a very, very different perspective and of the world, I suppose, from that short trip. So thank you.
Thank you, Richie. That's precious.
Lovely to hear from you.
I'm going to try something now. Grant, do you have anything else up your sleeve, or have we covered?
There is a slideshow, and true to form, Mum and Dad beat me to it and made their own slideshow. So we are going to be booted off. So I'm actually going to send it around afterwards. It's a YouTube link.
Okay.
And go for it. Yeah.
We've got 6 minutes left, so I thought we could try. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to give it a try to all unmute and sing happy birthday to the birthday girl.
Oh, good idea.
Good idea.
Okay. So all unmute.
Nice.
Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday
to
you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray!
I must say
That's
that's
it. That's
much better than just the bus singing.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, that is wonderful.
Do it again.
And just to close off our time, Peter and Shelley, if you can give us your parting words, and then we'll say goodbye.
Gosh, you know, there's just one huge word, and it's thank you. It's been absolutely wonderful to be in contact with you all and to hear those lovely memories and your very kind and gracious words. And I'm so close to tears, I'm going to pass it to my wife.
No, just a sense of complete overwhelming, just to see you all and to have those memories brought back, you know, ones that we've forgotten of you as little ones and things that were precious to you. It's been the most incredible morning. So particularly big thanks to Grant and to Kim for putting it all together, and for all of you for making time just to be with us and to share our special day. Yeah, my tears were started yesterday and they will continue today, but such big thanks. Thank you so
Bless
much.
you all.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
don't want to let you go.
Bye.
No, I don't want to.
Bye.
Bye bye, everyone. That's all.
Thanks, guys.
Those of us who keep the fun want to take a while.
So they give you 40 minutes on the free